one of the most intriguing places in the world to me is Antarctica. So I'm always down to check out some of their recent discoveries. So let's do it.
Antarctica may look like a barren land, but throughout the years, it has proved to be among the most intriguing continents on Earth. From terrifying sea pigs to remnants of an ancient wildfire, here are 20 incredible recent discoveries.
Hold on. Make sure my ears is cleaned out and all that. Did he just say sea pigs?
In Antarctica. Number 20. The terrifying sea pigs. Sea pigs just might be the strangest creatures lurking in Antarctica. You see, these creatures look like the combination of a blob and Cthulhu. This peculiar creature can be spotted meandering across the muddy seafloor in the frigid waters of the Ross Sea in the South Pole. This unique sea cucumber, known as Protelpidia murray, belongs to a group of sea cucumbers that have successfully established themselves in the abyssal depths of the world's oceans. However, this particular species has made its cozy abode on the deep continental shelf surrounding the Antarctic. Aside from their rather creepy appearance, there's another thing that makes these creatures intriguing. Think of them as the ocean's very own vacuum cleaners. With their multitude of legs, they leisurely stroll along the seabed, using their feathery tentacles to devour scrumptious decaying matter. It's a buffet of deliciousness for these bottom-dwelling creatures, as they play a crucial role in maintaining the ecosystem's balance by consuming organic waste. I don't know about you, but I find these creatures fascinating yet creepy at the same time.
Yeah, but we know their role now, so let's just leave them alone, okay? Leave them alone.
Number 19. Phytoplankton blooms. Recent studies have unveiled the existence of bottom blooms, defying logic and appearing in both the Arctic seafloor and below the icy cover of Antarctica. Beneath the icy depths of Antarctica's sea ice, scientists discovered vast blooms of microscopic organisms called phytoplankton, a colossal army thriving beneath several feet of compact ice. Despite the inhospitable and frigid conditions, these tiny photosynthetic creatures prove their adaptability and hint at unexplored ecosystems at the polar extremes. You see, for these blooms to thrive, they need to soak up sunlight for energy. But what's strange is that bottom blooms still thrive below the icy cover of Antarctica. That's why scientists were baffled about how these bottom blooms came to be. These illogical blooms could potentially support hidden ecosystems and unknown populations of marine organisms. Phytoplankton play a vital role in the marine food web, and they can bloom in areas once considered impossible. Who knows what other remarkable creatures may be thriving in these uncharted territories, possibly relying on these blooms for their sustenance. This discovery shows that there are still a lot of creatures to discover beneath the icy depths of the Antarctic continent. Number 18. The new deepest point. Antarctica has been the focus of countless researchers in the past decades, and this new breakthrough might reveal more discoveries in the future. The Factorian Deep, an astonishing depth of 24,400 feet below the ocean's surface. This point is the deepest in Antarctica. To put that into perspective, this region of icy and frigid water is as deep as 17 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. This previously unexplored region earned its name from the journey of Victor Vescovo, an American explorer, a retired naval officer, and an undersea explorer. In 2019, he embarked on his epic 5 Deeps expedition to uncover the lowest points in each of the Earth's 5 oceans.
I know, this make y'all think of the Titanic submersible or the Titan submersible or whatever the name of it was. It makes you, but this goes to show people have been doing this for a long time, and a lot of those interviews expose that too. So, you know what I mean? We don't have to get so apprehensive when we see it or cringe when we see somebody getting in the water. Professionals have been doing this. I think we just had a case of somebody just trying to do it a different way and it didn't go well. But yeah, I think the same thing when I see these.
Armed with his trusty submersible named the Limiting Factor, Vescovo descended into the treacherous South Sandwich Trench, a massive underwater canyon spanning 600 miles between South America and Antarctica. Thanks to the hard work of countless researchers and the collaboration of science vessels and ice-breaking ships, we now have an incredible seafloor map that covers over 18.5 million square miles of the Southern Ocean. That's more than double the area covered by the previous map released in 2013. These dedicated scientists used over 1,200 sonar datasets to create this comprehensive chart, providing us with a better understanding of the hidden wonders lurking beneath the waves. Number 17. 17-pound meteorite. Researchers stumbled upon 5 new meteorites in Antarctica, including a massive 16.7-pound rock. This is far from the largest meteorite found on our planet, which is about 9 feet wide, 3 feet thick, and weighs an astonishing 119,000 pounds. However, this Antarctic meteorite is still incredibly valuable. You see, the physical weight of a meteorite doesn't define its worth. This newfound meteorite will be carefully examined and analyzed by experts. There's a huge possibility that it holds valuable scientific secrets that can offer insight into the mysteries of our universe. From their composition to their origins, these space rocks have much to reveal. In the future, there might be an influx of meteorite discoveries on the icy continent. After all, Antarctica is like a haven for space rocks waiting to be discovered. Its dry climate and minimal weathering make it a prime spot for preserving these extraterrestrial treasures. Plus, the stark contrast between the black meteorites and the snowy white landscape makes them much easier to spot. The movement of glaciers against the rocks can even bring buried meteorites back to the surface, giving scientists an even greater chance of finding these cosmic rocks. Number 16. Blood Falls. Blood Falls may sound like something straight out of a horror movie, but it's a real thing that exists in Antarctica. Nestled within the frozen expanse of the McMurdo Dry Valleys, this rusty red waterfall is a sight that defies the laws of nature. Despite its name, the red liquid flowing here is not blood in the literal sense. Instead, this captivating spectacle owes its eerie color to a unique blend of science and geology. But where does this blood red water come from? Deep beneath the Taylor Glacier exists a subglacial lake, cut off from the outside world for thousands of years. This subglacial lake supports an ancient ecosystem devoid of light and oxygen. The blood that flows from the glacier is in fact a brine solution rich in iron and other minerals. This fascinating phenomenon has become a magnet for scientists seeking to unravel its mysteries.
But I still wouldn't be breathing it in, though. Until we know for sure what it all is, because it still looks to me as if they're testing this site and trying to finish, you know what I mean, gathering what all kind of data they can. To that point, do we know for sure? And still, then I'd still be skeptical. I wouldn't be breathing this stuff in.
Blood Falls provides a unique window into the hidden ecosystems that thrive beneath the icy veneer of Antarctica. By studying the microorganisms in the subglacial lake and their ability to survive in such extreme conditions, researchers hope to gain insight into the potential for life in similarly harsh environments elsewhere in the universe. Number 15. A Colossal Squid Expedition. The Antarctic Ocean holds secrets beyond our wildest imaginations, and one of its most elusive inhabitants is none other than the Colossal Squid. In December 2013, deep in the Southern Ocean, Captain John Bennett and his crew aboard the San-Aspiring Toothfish boat experienced a jaw-dropping encounter straight out of a thrilling novel. They managed to haul up a colossal squid weighing a whopping 770 pounds from the depths of the Ross Sea. What many believed was an imaginary creature turned out to be a real living being beneath the ocean. You see, despite our extensive knowledge of the oceans, this remarkable creature has never been captured on film in its natural habitat. Now, experts believe other colossal squid are lurking in Antarctica's depths and are eager to observe them. Many are out to search for the oceanic behemoth, but a team of researchers from Newfoundland and Labrador are trying to be among the first. Will the Newfoundland and Labrador team succeed in creating this creature's remarkable existence on film? Only time will tell. Number 4.
See, that's why I don't get on board with them saying, oh, this doesn't exist or this doesn't exist. You don't know. It exists. It doesn't exist till it does, is my motto. It doesn't exist until it does. I can't get on board with people saying, oh, that doesn't exist, that doesn't exist. And then they find something like that and be like, wow, this does exist. No.
14. Ozone Hole in the South Pole. Above the seemingly vast and empty expanse of Antarctica, 10 to 25 miles from land, is an invisible hole, a gap in the ozone layer right above the South Pole. The ozone layer acts as a protective shield, a celestial sunscreen, about 10 to 30 kilometers above us. Its primary role is to shield us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. However, when the Antarctic spring arrives each year, something extraordinary happens. Scientists have discovered a massive hole forming in the ozone layer above Antarctica, spanning thousands of square miles. This hole allows more ultraviolet or UV rays to seep through, posing potential risks to all life on our planet. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about this ozone hole phenomenon? Great question. Let's connect the dots. You see, ultraviolet rays cause some serious harm. They can leave us with painful sunburns, which are undoubtedly unpleasant and uncomfortable to deal with. But that's not all. Prolonged exposure to UV rays increases the risk of skin cancer, damages our eyes, and can even weaken our immune system. The most concerning, however, is that UV rays can also damage DNA, and perhaps it also has more effects that are still unknown to us.
That's the first time I heard it could damage your immune system with that type of exposure. See now that you start connecting the dots with certain sicknesses that people get, and you trying to figure out why their immune system isn't fighting it, and then you figure out what they do for a living or what type of exposure they had to the outer elements, and you're like, oh, this person worked outside all day, or this person worked in direct sun, like, you know what I mean, or in a different situation, and now stuff like that'll start to make sense to you.
DNA, and perhaps it also has more effects that are still unknown to us. As our planet changes, scientists fear that this hole will continue to grow. Hopefully, this won't be the case. Number 13. Shackleton's Lost Whiskey. 3 rare bottles of 19th century Scotch whiskey have emerged from beneath the floorboards of Antarctic explorer Ernest Shackleton's abandoned base. Frozen solid for over a century, the whiskey bottles were miraculously found intact, their liquid contents sloshing inside despite Antarctica's bone-chilling temperatures. Distiller White and McKay took up the challenge of recreating the blend, crafting a limited edition of 50,000 bottles based on a sample drawn from one of the original bottles. Of course, many whiskey connoisseurs and alcohol enthusiasts tried to get their hands on the recreated concoction. Luckily, the proceeds from each bottle sold generously supported the Antarctic Heritage Trust's vital conservation work. After being sampled and recreated, the bottles were sent back to Antarctica to ensure their longevity. They're now safely nestled beneath Shackleton's restored hut at Cape Royds. The whiskey joins other artifacts in preserving the spirit of Antarctica's heroic era of exploration from 1898 to 1915. Now here's the big question. Would you dare sample this drink? Number 12. MillionYearOld DNA. Scientists surveying the Scotia Sea, just north of mainland Antarctica, accidentally collected unique genetic samples during a 2019 expedition. These mysterious fragments, known as sedimentary ancient DNA, or cetadNA, were found up to 584 feet beneath the seafloor. By examining the damage patterns within the recovered DNA fragments, the team managed to determine their age, and the results were astonishing. The oldest fragments date back a staggering 1 million years, predating the previous record held by cetadNA from Arctic permafrost by around 350,000 years. Now here's where things get even more intriguing. While scientists are still unraveling the exact species to which the ancient cetadNA belongs, they're certain it comes from a eukaryote, a fancy term for organisms like animals, plants, and fungi, not bacteria or viruses. Whew, that's good news. A significant portion of the cetadNA belongs to diatoms, tiny phytoplankton that form the foundation of marine food webs. Further research of the cetadNA record revealed an explosion in diatom abundance approximately 540,000 years ago, coinciding with the natural warming phase Earth was going through. It seems that the melting of Antarctica's ice sheet and rising ocean temperatures created the perfect conditions for diatoms to thrive and multiply at an unprecedented rate. Isn't it fascinating how the DNA of these ancient microorganisms provides us with insight into Earth's past? Number 11. Shipwreck of Shackleton's Endurance. We just told you about his recovered whiskey, and now, after more than a century, the long-lost ship of St. Ernest Shackleton has finally been found at the bottom of the Weddell Sea. Imagine that, 107 years hidden beneath the icy depths.
Wow.
And now it's come to light. The Endurance, a remarkable vessel, met its tragic fate in 1915 when it was crushed by sea ice.
Imagine being the person who discovered this boat, though, after being lost for so long.
Compelling Shackleton and his brave crew to embark on an extraordinary escape on foot and in small boats. Despite spending all those years resting 10,000 feet below the water's surface, the Endurance looks just as it did on that fateful November day. Its timbers, though a bit disrupted, remain firmly together, and even the ship's name, Endurance, can still be clearly seen on the stern.
Yeah.
The Falklands Maritime Heritage Trust spearheaded the mission to find this lost piece of history. They utilized the mighty South African icebreaker Agulhas II, equipped with state-of-the-art remotely operated submersibles.
I wonder if the coldness of the water helped preserve it and to keep it such in great shape.
Driven by their relentless determination, they battled treacherous sea ice, blizzards, and plummeting temperatures during the most challenging shipwreck search ever. To this day, the discovery of the Endurance remains the most daunting, dangerous shipwreck discovery of all time. Number 10. Third man factor. Imagine exploring the icy wilderness of Antarctica, battling freezing winds and extreme temperatures. You're all alone, or so you think. Suddenly, you feel a presence, a companion by your side, offering comfort and guidance. But when you look, you realize that there's no one there. This phenomena is known as the third man factor. So what exactly is it? It's when people in life-threatening situations feel the presence of an unseen entity beside them, providing assistance and solace. This eerie encounter feels so real that those who experience it are convinced of its existence. The third man is like an invisible guardian angel, a silent companion navigating treacherous terrain with a brave explorer. The history of the third man factor is full of mystery, with accounts spanning centuries. But it's the stories from intrepid adventurers who have ventured into the icy depths of Antarctica that truly capture our intrigue. Amid the harsh elements and isolation, these explorers encountered the enigmatic third man, leaving them bewildered and questioning the nature of reality itself. One famous Antarctic explorer who experienced the third man factor was the legendary Sir Ernest Shackleton. During his ill-fated 1914-1915 Endurance expedition, Shackleton and his crew found themselves trapped in a frozen nightmare as their ship succumbed to the icy embrace of the sea. Stranded in the heart of Antarctica, they endured unimaginable hardships, but in their darkest moments, they felt a presence, a divine force inspiring them to overcome their seemingly insurmountable challenges. The third man factor is not limited to Shackleton's tale. Other explorers like Roald Amundsen and Robert Falcon Scott also reported encounters with this mysterious entity during their Antarctic expeditions. It's as if the stark beauty and isolation of Antarctica awaken unknown forces, blurring the line between what is seen and unseen. But what causes this eerie phenomena? While science has yet to provide definitive answers, theories abound. Some experts suggest that the third man may be a psychological coping mechanism conjured by the mind to alleviate fear and loneliness. Others speculate it could be a spiritual or supernatural manifestation, an otherworldly presence reaching out to those in need. Number 9. Largest fish breeding colony. Scientists aboard an icebreaker in Antarctica had their minds blown when they stumbled upon a jaw-dropping sight. A whopping 60 million icefish nests scattered across the floor of the Weddell Sea. These nurseries made up the largest breeding colony of fish ever recorded. These fish are classified as nototheniod icefish. What sets them apart is their complete lack of hemoglobin in their blood, making them the only vertebrates known to be white-blooded. As the scientists continued their exploration, they made additional passes over the area, maneuvering the camera at a shallower depth to capture a more expansive view of this extraordinary colony. Previously, icefish were known to nest in groups, but the record had been a mere 40 nests, nothing compared to the millions found in Antarctica. The discovery of this massive icefish colony has left scientists astounded. Never before have they witnessed such an incredible gathering of nests. Number 8.
Might not ever have to worry about them going extinct or anything like that, bro. They're overpopulated.
Largest iceberg breaking off in Antarctica. At the beginning of the century, a gigantic chunk of ice measuring a jaw-dropping 4,320 square miles broke off from the icy continent of Antarctica. That's larger than the island of Jamaica. Now, let's get real for a moment. You might think, Okay, that's one massive chunk of ice, but how does it affect our planet? The thing is, when humongous icebergs like this one break off from Antarctica, they can have some severe consequences. First off, it's a stark reminder of the ongoing changes happening in our climate. The breaking off of such a massive iceberg is a visible sign of the melting happening in Antarctica due to rising temperatures. But what does this mean for our planet? Well, when icebergs the size of small countries break off, they have the potential to cause some disruptions. As these icy giants drift through the ocean, they can interfere with shipping lanes, posing a challenge for maritime navigation. But that's not all, folks. Icebergs play a crucial role in the delicate balance of our planet's ecosystems. As they melt and release fresh water into the surrounding seawater, it affects the salinity levels and can impact marine life. From tiny plankton to majestic whales, the ripple effect of these icy adventurers can be felt throughout the entire food chain. Number 7. Sea Spider. Introducing the Antarctic spider crab, one of the weirdest and creepiest creatures in Antarctica. This crab is like a bodybuilder on steroids, with spindly legs stretching up to 10 feet across. Covered in jagged spikes and bristles, it's a force to be reckoned with, and it's definitely not winning any beauty contests. It's got beady little eyes perched atop stalks, giving it an alien look. And don't even get me started on its mouth, which looks like a twisted contraption straight out of a horror movie. With an appearance as daunting as it is incredible, this crab demonstrates impeccable adaptation to the frigid depths of the Southern Ocean. It skillfully scours the ocean floor, scavenging falling carcasses and indulging in other delectable treats. One thing's for sure, encountering an Antarctic spider crab while exploring the underwater world of Antarctica is like meeting an alien from the deep, and would give even the bravest of adventurers a serious case of the heebie-jeebies. Number 6.
Agreed.
UFO in Antarctica. Do you believe in aliens? You might be a skeptic, but many conspiracy theorists are now pushing the speculations that extraterrestrial creatures have visited our planet before, and they chose to land on the South Pole. A conspiracy theorist recently shared his discovery while looking at the Antarctic region on Google Earth, a strange sphere buried beneath the ice. Surprisingly, it looks similar to a UFO. People on the internet immediately believed that the strange and unknown thing buried beneath the ice was indeed a UFO that crash-landed on the icy continent. Of course, many are skeptical about the truth behind this find.
And that's the thing, we always hear that many are skeptical about what it is, but we never hear anyone say what it is, actually. Have you ever noticed that? We always get that, but we're skeptical, they're skeptical, whoever's skeptical, but they never tell us what it is. It is a government facility they don't want us to know about, something top secret? What's going on here? This ain't the first time at all.
After all, there's a huge chance that the alleged UFO is nothing but a natural geological feature. Because it's challenging to reach Antarctica and the coordinates given by the conspiracy theorist, we still haven't verified what was found in the location. This isn't the first time people have claimed to find UFOs or extraterrestrial shelters in Antarctica. There have been several conspiracies of extraterrestrial landings and crashes on the continent, but to this day, nothing is verified. Number 5.
But still got no information on what it was, right? Keep paying attention to that, y'all. I promise y'all. It's something to that.
Football-sized egg. Around 66 million years ago, an ancient marine reptile, possibly a mosasaur, left behind a colossal football-sized egg on the icy continent of Antarctica. You see, long ago, scientists believed that giant marine reptiles from the Cretaceous period didn't lay eggs. However, this new discovery challenges this belief. Scientists found out that the egg belonged to a mosasaur, a creature that lived from about 82 to 66 million years ago. These creatures grew up to a staggering 56 feet, making it one of the largest creatures that roamed the oceans at the time. It's no wonder the egg left behind was enormous. However, the egg had already hatched tens of millions of years ago, indicating that whatever was once contained inside it has long since vanished. The process of how the animal hatched remains uncertain.
They hope. See, stuff like that makes me think, man, they saying it's extinct, but it could be just somewhere floating we ain't seen yet.
Could have been laid in open waters like sea snakes, or the reptile might have crawled onto land and used its tail to create a nest before its hatchlings headed to the sea, similar to sea turtles today. Number 4. 800-year-old mummies. It's expected that researchers stumble upon penguins in Antarctica, but a researcher didn't expect to find penguin remains that go as far back as 5,000 years ago. Ornithologist Stephen Emsley embarked on a research expedition in 2016, expecting to encounter the wonders of nature. Little did he know that fate had something extraordinary in store for him. As he explored Cape Irizar in the Ross Sea, Emsley stumbled upon a remarkable sight, an amalgamation of ancient and fresh remains of Adelaide penguins. Radiocarbon dating unveiled the astonishing truth behind these preserved penguins. They hailed from 3 distinct eras spanning thousands of years. The oldest of the bunch dates back a whopping 5,000 years, while the youngest is estimated to be around 800 years old. But why have these ancient penguins remained hidden until now? As temperatures in the Ross Sea have risen by 2.7 to 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit since the 1980s, the icy landscape has undergone significant transformations. Satellite images captured since 2013 provide a visual record of the increasing snow and ice melt across the region. As this frozen cover thins and recedes, it reveals long-lost nesting sites like the one Emsley stumbled upon. As the snow melts, we expect more secrets from Antarctica will be revealed. Number 3. Earthquake swarms. Deep beneath the frigid waters near Antarctica, an ancient slumbering volcano has come to life, setting off a remarkable...
Something that I feel like people always tend to forget about. You know, the ice and everything is always so mesmerizing that your focus is always on the whiteness and the ice and the glaciers and everything else, the animals, the penguins, everything. We forget about what's under the water there that can potentially rock this world, which is those volcanoes, man.
Series of events. A whopping 85,000 earthquakes were unleashed as this underwater giant awakened from its long rest. The seismic frenzy, spanning from August to November 2020, is the most intense earthquake activity ever observed in this region. Scientists believe these earth-shaking tremors were caused by a fiery finger of molten magma poking its way into the Earth's crust. All this volcanic action revolves around the Orca Seamount, a dormant volcano that majestically rises 2,950 feet from the seafloor in the Bransfield Strait. This narrow passageway lies between the South Shetland Islands and the northwestern tip of Antarctica. The reason behind these earthquakes is the Phoenix tectonic plate. It's dramatically diving, or moving towards the Earth's mantle due to tectonic forces, beneath the continental Antarctic plate, creating a web of fault zones that make the region a hotbed for earthquakes. While the South Pole is incredibly far from human habitation,
mess around, wake up a sleeping giant.
These earthquakes could also affect the rest of the planet. For now, scientists are trying to determine the implications of the sudden seismic activity in Antarctica. Number 2. Ancient rain.
Could you imagine? We've seen volcanoes and earthquakes do damage in other places, but could you imagine a catastrophic one taking place there? Here? Yeah.
Forest. Did you know that Antarctica was once a thriving rainforest?
Yep.
Once upon a time, not far from the South Pole, in a place buried beneath the icy depths of the ocean, lies a surprising secret about the coldest continent on our planet. If you dive more than a half-mile below the surface, you'll stumble upon a layer of ancient fossils that paint an extraordinary picture of Antarctica's past. It's unknown to many, but approximately 90 million years ago, Antarctica, now known for its bone-chilling temperatures, was as warm as the sunny landscapes of Italy and boasted a lush rainforest teeming with life. It's hard to imagine, but the frozen wasteland of West Antarctica was once home to a flourishing rainforest thanks to this scorching climate. Scientists have found traces of the rainforest, and these incredible fossils tell us that such a thriving ecosystem once existed in a place now known for its icy barrenness. What's incredibly horrifying, though, is the possibility of this rainforest coming to life once again. Inevitably, as our planet undergoes ongoing transformations, Antarctica will eventually revert back to being a rainforest. By then, the living beings on our planet would have undergone a monumental transformation as well. And now, it's time for today's topic. There is a sudden discovery on the edge of Antarctica that scares scientists. For so long, there have been rumors and speculation that within the icy heart of Antarctica, an ancient secret lies. A long time ago, the edge of the continent was covered with lush rainforest, its greenery thriving. But that's not all. Amid the lush rainforest were pyramids left behind by a civilization long gone. This speculation has a horrifying implication. A civilization existed in Antarctica's past, and we have no idea about it. With each discovery, it seems that Antarctica's mystery deepens. If these speculations prove to be accurate, we would need to rewrite history completely. Number 1. Ancient wildfires. The last thing you'd expect to see in Antarctica today is wildfire. However, scientists claim this was not the case. Scientists have found evidence of massive wildfires that raged 75 million years ago when dinosaurs ruled the Earth. In the late Cretaceous period, Antarctica's James Ross Island was home to a fascinating forest. This forest was once filled with ferns, flowering plants, and even dinosaurs. However, it wasn't all peace and greenery. Ancient paleofires swept through this ancient rainforest, leaving ashes and dead organisms in its wake. It wasn't until recently that scientists stumbled upon remnants of these prehistoric fires. What's astonishing is that this discovery is the first ever documented evidence of a paleofire on James Ross Island, which lies beneath South America. It turns out that spontaneous fires were quite common during the Campanian age.
Yeah, but how were they put out? Like, we deal with wildfires today and we have people and, that go over there and attempt to try to put them out and do different things and create breaks, cut breaks around it and stuff like that to try to contain it. And, the weather, the only thing I could think about back then would be the weather coming in and, trying to stop it. But that means it probably burned for extremely long periods of time, man. Interesting though.
Around 84 to 72 million years ago, while intense forest fires during the late Cretaceous were more commonly found in the northern hemisphere, there are a few instances documented in the southern hemisphere as well. Yep, places like Tasmania, New Zealand, and Argentina have signs of these ancient blazes. Interestingly, during that time, Antarctica was experiencing volcanic activity due to tectonic forces. These volcanic eruptions likely sparked widespread wildfires, leaving behind the charcoal remains that we're digging up now. Now that we made this mind-blowing discovery, scientists are on a mission to uncover more records of ancient fires in other parts of Antarctica. Imagine what else they'll find. These findings will help us understand how these fires shaped ecosystems, the impact on plant life, and how geological events and wildfires were connected in Antarctica. These are only some of the discoveries we've uncovered throughout the years. Who knows what other things we'll discover after exploring Antarctica?